For decades, companies have been trying to figure out who we are. But today, there's a new kind of AI that's going so much deeper. It's called psychographics. And it's not about what you do, but why you do it. We're talking about your values, your motivations, your core personality. This technology is quietly building a predictive model of you, and honestly, it's already reshaping our world. So in this explainer, we're going to break down this whole revolution. First up, we'll look at its new predictive power, then how it all works. After that, we'll explore the good and the bad, the new cognitive battlefield it's creating, and wrap up with what all of this really means for us. All right, so let's start not with some long history lesson, but with what this tech can do right here, right now. And let me tell you, it is absolutely stunning. Get a load of this number, 85%. That's the accuracy that AI-driven psychographics can now hit when predicting what you, as a consumer, are going to do next. This isn't just a small step up, it is a massive quantum leap. We have gone from making, educated guesses to a system that understands our motivations so well, it can actually forecast our actions with some startling precision. So how in the world did we get to 85% accuracy? Well, the answer is in this fundamental shift in how the profiling is actually done. The best way to think about it is like the difference between looking at an old, static photograph of someone versus watching a live, constantly updating video feed of their life. The change here is just profound. Old school profiling relied on what we said we did in surveys. And that data was slow, it was clunky, and often pretty inaccurate. But now, algorithmic psychographics analyze what we actually do in real time. It's this always-on system, constantly learning from our digital footprints, our voice patterns, even our biometric data. The feedback loop is instantaneous, which means it's always getting smarter. That is the engine driving that 85% accuracy. Okay, so this predictive power can be used to build a world with some really incredible upsides. When a system understands you this deeply, it can create experiences that are tailored specifically to your needs and motivations. And that brings huge benefits to business and even to our health. Yeah, for businesses, the impact is massive. We're talking a 71% improvement in keeping customers happy, just because the experience feels genuinely helpful. A 25% jump in conversion rates because the offer is actually relevant to you. And what does it mean for us? A 30% cut in marketing waste. So less spam, more value. It's a much more efficient and frankly less annoying commercial world. But the promise here goes way beyond just shopping. In healthcare, this stuff is truly revolutionary. By understanding a patient's personality, doctors can tailor how they communicate to actually motivate someone to stick with their treatment. It's been proven to cut down missed hospital appointments by 22%. And even more profoundly, predictive AI in our wearables can now monitor our cognitive health or even detect these tiny physiological signs that are associated with early pregnancy loss. That can enable life-saving early interventions. It's incredible. But of course, with this incredible power comes an equally potent peril. Every single tool for personalization can also be a tool for manipulation. I think we all remember the Cambridge Analytica scandal. That was really our first big wake-up call to this dark side, a sort of proof of concept for how this tech could be weaponized. The whole scandal kicked off with data harvesting on a ridiculous scale. Up to 87 million Facebook profiles were grabbed improperly. But just collecting the data, that was only the first step. The real danger was in how they used it. The whistleblower, Christopher Wiley, he really nailed the crucial point. They weren't just targeting people with generic ads. No, they were building detailed psychological profiles to find our vulnerabilities, like, say, a predisposition to believe in conspiracies. And then they would systematically target those weak spots with tailor-made disinformation. And this is the razor's edge we're all working on. The exact same method, understanding you deeply, can be used to serve you or to covertly manipulate you. Offering you a product that's actually relevant, that's one thing. But delivering tailored disinformation designed to exploit your own cognitive biases, that's something else entirely. One makes your life a little easier, the other one slowly erodes your ability to make your own choices. Fast forward to today, and the stakes are even higher. The risk isn't just about swaying a single election anymore. National security agencies now see this technology as an entirely new theater of operations, posing a threat not just to our society, but to our very sense of self. There's a military doctrine for it. It's called cognitive warfare. And it is exactly what it sounds like, a form of conflict where the human mind itself becomes the battlefield. The goal? To use these psychographic tools to mess with an enemy's ability to think clearly, and ultimately to break down the trust that holds a society together. In fact, NATO strategists break this down into 3 different levels of engagement. At the biological level, it's about disrupting our basic cognitive functions. At the psychological level, it's using AI to craft messages that exploit your personal emotional vulnerabilities. And then at the social level, it's about shattering our trust in institutions and our shared sense of reality. It's a full spectrum assault on our ability to just make sense of the world. But maybe the most profound risk of all is also the most personal. There's emerging research showing that having long conversations with these sophisticated AIs can actually bias your own self-concept. The personality the AI projects can start to subtly shape your own, changing who you believe you are. So it's not just influencing what you buy anymore, it's influencing who you become. So where does that leave us? I mean, we've seen this incredible promise and this existential peril, right? The goal here isn't to scare you, but to make us all more critically aware of the new reality that we're all trying to navigate. The most important thing to remember is that this is a two-sided coin. On one side, you've got these amazing, life-saving medical advances and a more useful, relevant commercial world. But on the other side, you're facing manipulation at a scale we've never imagined, new kinds of silent warfare and the slow, creeping erosion of our own autonomy. And that really leaves us with one final, and I think, critical question. As these systems get better and better at predicting us, at guiding us, at shaping our behavior, our choices, and even our sense of self, how do we ever make a truly original choice? How do we know that the next decision we make is really our own?